Growing up in a small town, I learned that connections go beyond blood. They're built through shared experiences, friendships, and the moments we celebrate together.
Both my parents were college professors, and so they made education a big deal, and I should have internalized that a little bit more. It's maybe one of my regrets. And I won the draft lottery.
The great lottery that everybody wants to win.
I talked to the Air Force recruiter. He wouldn't guarantee me flight training, but the Navy recruiter did.
Okay.
And so I joined the Navy, and after college graduation, I went to Pensacola and learned how to fly. And I really fell in love with the search and rescue, kind of helping people, and that's probably carried through much of the things I've done in my life. I learned how to study, and while everybody else was playing around in flight training, I studied, and I graduated first in my class. They said I could go anywhere I wanted, and I chose Whidbey Island, Washington. Ryan, I've had 6 or 7 careers. I've lost track. And I ended up setting up life flight programs all over the country. That was back when they were just getting started.
Oh, really?
And we're really familiar with them. University of Utah and LDS Hospital and the Provo Hospital. But that was new back then, and people didn't know how to do it. And while I was doing that, I found out nobody was sharing any information. The industry is so small, and it was most of these programs were 500, 600, 700 miles apart back then. And so I started a little magazine to share information. And then I would go out and do consulting, and that would give me more information for the magazine. So it fed each other. We ended up with 117 employees and had 300,000 paid subscribers in 46 countries. And we moved to California on a whim. It was probably the hardest year of my life. I didn't have any income, didn't really have a job. And I learned that people everywhere just want to get along and love other people. You have to understand, they helped me build my mosque. I helped them build their houses. What's to hate? You listen to the news and you think the whole world's at war. And then after COVID, that company called me up and said, we'd like you to help us with some video work. And I'm not a videographer, but I know a few things. And that led to a full-fledged production called The Good Samaritan, which is now streaming on Angel. And even though we're from different continents halfway around the world, and certainly different religions, everybody got along just really wonderful. And the movies we're doing are just trying to help people draw a little bit closer to Jesus Christ and just to love each other and care for each other regardless of their differences. And so we have a 100-page script, 110-page script. It'll be close to a 2-hour movie. So we've invented some backstories for all these girls. So by the time the main event comes, you know who they are, their strengths, their weaknesses, the challenges, but it's a human nature film, and we're just talking about the challenges people have and how they overcome them. We're an independent company. It's a low-budget production, but even that, it's still 7 figures. Movies are expensive, and we had a cast of, I think we had 41 cast members, we had 20 extras, and we had a crew of 115. But Morocco has 3 first-century sets in Ouarzazate where we filmed. Their current model is not to do that. I think they're kind of swinging back around. If they really like this, we hope that will come into play. But right now, they only will look at completed movies. And I personally feel that somebody wants this film made, and we are trying to do it. And after he departed from them, they said, did not our hearts burn within us? And that's what we want to do with our movies, is people walk away from these movies with their hearts burning within them and seeing, maybe I can make a little change in my life to be kinder, gentler, more intentional on the kinds of things that I do, and help make a difference in other people's lives. Typically, the girls in first century, they would get married as teenagers, and it wasn't uncommon for girls to be married at 14, 15, 16. Today, that's not culturally acceptable, and so we didn't want to cast young girls for that reason. There's one of my favorite scenes in the movie, and I won't spoil it, but it's a miracle on how this one girl gets olives. But every single one of them was touched by this film. I think every single cast member was. They could feel the power of it, and so that was kind of fun. And there were girls that we hired, that we just had felt these are the right people. Didn't really have a resume behind them, but we just felt good, and they didn't let us down. And everybody we talked to said, no, this needs to be a movie. This needs to be a movie. I keep telling my wife that I'm too old to do this, and she said, listen, the Lord's given you good health. You're functioning, maybe not at 100%.
Sure.
But use what He's given you to do good. And I'll do that. From my Word Perfect days, I adopted a slogan that said, hire good people, then get out of their way. And on Monday, she came back with a working HR database.
Oh, wow.
So she started getting promoted because she didn't know what she couldn't do. She said, I just made a $20,000 mistake.
Oh, no.
And this is,
$20,000.
30 years ago. I sent her back to renew it. She came back with a 2-year contract. We had 2 magazines at the time that saved $500,000 over what we were doing. I don't know. I hope they remember me as someone with integrity. I made some mistakes. I haven't been perfect along that line. But I think that is so important in people today, is just do what you say you're going to do and be the kind of person that people can approach. And it's not about you. It's about everybody else. Look outward instead of inward. You can't love somebody unless you know them, and that's a big thing, and it takes effort to get to know people.